in this video we are going to understand packet flow. So before getting into the actual topic, let's first understand the topology. I have two networks, one is 192.168.1.0 and the other one is 192.168.2.0 networks. And I have also written the MAC addresses, MAC address for this computer, MAC address for the default gateway, which is the default gateway for this LAN, and MAC address and IP for this interface, which is the internet service provider facing, and this interface MAC address and IP, which is the internet service provider facing on the other side. And this is the default gateway MAC address, the default gateway which is used for this LAN, and the IP and the MAC address and the IP address of the destination computer I want to ping from here. So I will make you understand the packet flow when the packet is being transmitted from this computer to this computer. Now when this is your source and this is your destination, you need to understand that what are the destination addresses you will be having when you are trying to communicate. So destination IP and the destination MAC addresses, these two are the addresses which are used in this communication. So destination IP address is going to be 192.168.2.2, which is the destination, but destination MAC address is going to be the MAC address of your default gateway. So it is important to note here that whenever you are trying to reach outside of your network, then the destination MAC address or the layer 2 destination address is always going to be your default gateway MAC address, not the actual destination device address. So now the question is if this computer knows about this destination or not. So for that we need to get into the command prompt and need to give one command, that is ARPA, which is used to show the IP to MAC binding table, the ARP table, but it does not have any ARP entries in the table. So whenever I will try to ping this, so let me first get into the simulation mode so that I could monitor the packets being transmitted. Now I will ping to the destination. So I'll get this. You can see here there are two packets, one is in buffer and the other one is the ARP. And this ARP packet as a destination IP, you can see the destination is the IP of the default gateway. So now because this computer does not know the MAC address of the default gateway, so it is sending the ARP request to know the MAC address of the router. Now router is going to respond back with ARP reply. So this will be received by all the devices in the network, but the device which is having destination as the IP as the 192.168.1.1 is going to reply back. So now this computer knows the IP, the MAC address of the default gateway. Now you can see the ping package is generated. If you get into the PDU details, you can see here it is an ICMP packet, which is nothing but a ping packet. So if you capture forward, it is received by the router, but now again it is dropped. Why? Because the router does not have the destination MAC address. Now what is the layer 2 destination for this router is this MAC address, again not the actual destination. So it is always going to be the next hop layer 2 MAC address or layer 2 address. It's not, if we talk about the layer 2 destination MAC addresses, so it is not always going to be the exact destination device layer 2 address, but the next hop layer 2 address. So because this router does not know the MAC address of the destination, that's why it is dropping the ping packet because of the timer got expired, and it is first sending the ARP request to know the MAC address of the next hop. So it will be received by the router and will be sent with the ARP request. Now this computer will again generate the ARP. Right now it didn't generate. So look, this is again generated by the computer. Now this time it's not going to be dropped because router now has the MAC address of the next hop. So if you get into the CLI of the router and you give the command show ARP, so this command is used to show the ARP table of the router. So you can see here there is a MAC address corresponding to the 172.16.1.2. Previously it was not there. So now it is sending this packet to directly to this MAC address. Now it is received here and again it is being dropped because the router does not know again the destination MAC address, of the actual device. If you get into the ARP table of the router, you can see here, if you give the command show ARP, it will show you that it does not know the MAC address for 192.168.2.2, 192.168.2.2, and it does not have the IP address there for this IP. That's why, and it is also showing that I have sent the ARP request, it is just incomplete. I have not received the replied back. But you can see here that the ARP request has been generated. That's why there in the output it is showing incomplete for this destination IP address. Now this ARP request is going to be received by the device and it will reply it. So this is the only device which is supposed to reply back because of the destination IP address. Now it is received by this. Now it will again wait for the third ping packet to generate. Now it again generated the packet, the ping packet. Now this time, because this computer also has the destination MAC address, which is the default gateway for this, and this router has the destination MAC address of the next hop, and this router also has the MAC address of the destination device or the next hop. That's why the ping packet will be sent directly to the destination device. So you can notice here that when you are trying to communicate and trying to get out of your network, layer 2 addressing is changing. Layer 2 addressing is changing, but layer 3 addressing remains unchanged. So what we conclude from this packet flow video, that whenever you are trying to get out of your network and trying to reach some destination, so the destination IP address is going to be what is the exact destination, but the destination MAC address is going to be the next hop or default gateway, in your case the default gateway MAC address. Then both the source and destination of the packet will change. So let us notice one more thing here. So if you open this packet out here, so the in layers, this is the packet which I got in this layer or in this interface, and this packet is which I am going to send out. So these are two packets, the packet I got in my interface and the packet I am sending out my interface. Now in this you can notice what is the source MAC address. The source MAC address is 7E3A, which is this computer, and destination is 53D2, which is the gateway of the network. Now the packet which is leaving the network, means the packet which is going to be lead out of this interface, it is having the source IP as 976A, which is of this interface, and destination MAC address as, let me erase it, destination MAC address as 4848, which is of this interface. Now let me capture and forward it. The packet is received by this router, and here also you can notice, if you open this, so this is the packet it got in the interface, and this is the packet which is leaving out this interface in order to reach to the destination. Now you can see here that the source MAC address is 976A, which it got in, and destination was 4848, which was of mine, that's why I have received it. But now with the packet I am sending out is going to have the source and destination MAC addresses change. So the source MAC address is EA03, and destination MAC address is 38AE. So this is how my source and destination MAC addressing, which is layer 2 addressing, is changing whenever I am going across my network, I'm leaving my network. So network to network, the layer 2 addressing is changing, but you can notice here the source IP address is 2.2, destination is 1.2, the source IP address here is 2.2 and destination 1.2. So the layer 3 addressing remains unchanged in the whole transmission. So from this video we learned about the packet flow, how layer 2 addressing is changing and layer 3 addressing is not changing. I hope this video has been informative for you, and thank you for watching.